How much do someone's political views matter when it comes to casual dating and why? What's the difference between casual dating and dating? We don't need to share every single belief, but we do need to share the same values and worldview. I see a lot of debate around American politics on this post. Lol. Seriously though, if someone has fundamental beliefs which would impact the way you live, the way you'd raise children or views on whether or not they have any, the role different people have in society and basically any life choice, it's better to know that your beliefs are incompatible while it's still casual. Relationships require compromise to work, but we all have things we will not compromise. There are some political opinions that can turn very ugly very quickly, if something goes wrong while casually dating. Abortion rights aren't something that's particularly safe to disagree about in a sexual relationship, even a casual dating one. Non-Americans only. What is one thing you really like about the States? The nature and the scenery. I spent 5 weeks road tripping the western US this year, and I loved all the sights and scenery. From the deserts in Mojave, to the depths of the snowy Grand Canyon, the red buttes of Monument Valley, to the blooming forests in Yosemite Oak Redwood, and the glittering sea along Highway 1. I like how they at least try to stay friendly and help tourists out, unlike the blatant no that you get in my polder. Not sure if it's American or Mexican, but Takis, Fuego Takis. What actor/actress plays themselves in every movie? Danny McBride. Stan Lee, P. Stuff. Jason Statham isn't himself, but he's always the same guy. Jennifer Lopez played Selena, and then she was just J.Lo in everything else. Kevin Hart, The Rock. Michelle Rodriguez as a tough girl in every movie. Hector. I think some of these actors are very capable of different roles, but if they're making bank playing the same kind of characters, then they're obviously gonna milk it for as long as they can. I feel like I'll get raked over the coals for this, but Jennifer Coolidge. I love her, but she always plays some sort of variation of herself. Mark Wahlberg with his question statement self. Ryan Reynolds. To Americans who are against free healthcare. Why? The funny thing is, because some states in the US require health insurance, we already do pay for universal healthcare, only at a much higher rate, and through private industry. People just don't realize it. I feel like a lot of people in this thread taking the word free and healthcare too literally, because they don't want their taxes to increase. Because they don't believe it's their responsibility to pay for someone else's medical problems. Because they don't trust their government to manage it. I want universal healthcare, no such thing as free healthcare, but I want a healthcare reform beforehand. Our healthcare system has some real issues and scum behind it that needs to be addressed before we could even get a real universal healthcare plan in place. How do you let your frustration out? Hitting the gym. I try to keep myself distracted until I'm tired and then I go to bed. Maybe that's the opposite of letting it out though. I let my frustration out by just wanting to be left alone to cry. Gym, gaming, asking my wife to ride me through the bed. I play video games. After killing zombies in State of Survival on my PC, yeah, I don't like it on phone, so I use BlueStacks. I feel relieved and way better than from any other activity. Scream FCCCCCCKKKKKK by talking about it. Venting, you know? Because your brain is like a house, if you don't vent it's gonna get rotten. Violent moshing while listening to deathcore death metal. Needle felting, you make cute little soft dolls and such by getting a little lump of fluffy wool and stabbing IT mercilessly until IT submits to your will. I eat extra food and play video games. 100 by crying. Lifting heavy ass weights. What country would you go to if monkey wasn't a problem? Planet of the Apes. Monkey isn't a problem for me. I'm a mandrillionaire. Oz. Singapore. I want to visit a place with a monkey problem, just here for the laughs. Not disappointed. Any banana republic. Why can't you do it? Why can't you set your monkey free? Always giving into it. Do you love the monkey or do you love me? The Netherlands. Specifically to Amsterdam. That way, I don't have to spank my monkey. Monkey will always be a problem. Monkey problems? No, I'm not having monkey problems. Donkey Kong Country. India. Them damn monkeys stole my wallet. Madagascar, although a lemur problem, and they are technically not monkeys but prosimian. There are no native monkeys in the countries I want to visit. You know Op misspelt that on purpose. Is there a monkey problem in Australia? What is a good alternative to smoking? Might sound dumb, but chewing on a tea tree oil toothpick whenever I felt like a cigarette helped me to quit. It's been over 12 years since my last cigarette. Having money. Eating everything in sight. Not smoking is the best alternative, I find. Breathing air. No, seriously, stepping out for a minute, taking some slow breaths, and enjoying a moment of peace is fantastic. Chewing gum, flossing, sunflower seeds, going for a jog, sucking on a lollipop. Oral fixations always go right back to sucking. Insert NSFW term here. Punching dry walls. You could smoke CBD cigs instead. Masturbation. But just not too often at work and definitely not by the main entrance to the office, source speaking from experience. Probation is not fun. Go to nature while it's raining and take a big breath of that yummy fresh rain air. What do you wish you were snacking on right now? Cashew nuts, hands down the best nut in the world and much better than D's nuts. The sweet, salty crunch of a stable economy. Doritos. Those little rye crisp things you find in Chex Mix. They look like little round pieces of toast. Sour cream and onion chips. Salty snacks at night are the best. Sour cream onion Pringles, my ex. Chocolate. Popcorn, something wet, juicy and that squirts. Cake. I could go for some of what my mom called tiger meat. Thin slices of sirloin steak from the night before fried in butter. With seasoned salt. Wiener Schnitzel. Honey Nut Cheerios, Blue Crab Claws. Taki Waves, they're the best kind of Takis. Spam musubi. Sydney Sweeney. Dates. Big Mac with extra mac sauce. Human remains. Human flesh. Ideally with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. How thick does a stick need to be before you can call it a log? If it's too big to throw for a dog, it's a log. If you can pick it up, then you're allowed to call it a stick. I've never thought about it, but now it's going to keep me awake. Lol. 2-inch. If it's the main part of a tree, then it's a log. Thick. If you can split it with an axe, it's a log. If it fits on your back and great for a snack, it's log. Log. If it was a tree truck, it's a log. The rest are sticks. A log is a tree. A branch is from the log. A stick is from the branch. If you need two hands to lift it, or if you can't lift it, it's a log. Can break in half with hands. Stick. Mildly retarded. I think a log is defined by its shape, not its size. That being said, I would argue that a log is a special case of a stick, but not all sticks are logs. What is something making human beings dumber in general? Bad parents. Lead poisoning. Possibly microplastics too. Oh, and don't forget about forever chemicals. Social media. Delicious Tide Pods. The Yosemite Park Ranger has a nice remark about why it's challenging to create a rubbish container that is bear-proof. The intelligence of the smartest bears and the most ignorant tourists overlap significantly. 24-hour news cycles. 100 years ago, mostly only things of merit got written down. Reading would educate you. Now, everything is recorded. Every dumb thing ever. The age of information means we're inundated with useless crap, lies, etc. that plays a huge role in this. Non-existent parents. All that lead in shit back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. What do you want written on your gravestone? So long and thanks for all the fish. Cremated, just a simple stone to mark the ash interment. He was never a valiant man, now he fits in a tiny can. Don't pray for me, drink alcohol. What's the worst that could happen? I don't want to be buried. I'd like to be decomposed by plants. 2001, 2022. Sue dude. LOL, you just wasted 8 seconds reading this. I took your time, nerd. Deal with it. 2000, 2022. BRB. Haunting people. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Pseudo-init6. My mantra: if this is the worst thing to happen to me today, then I've had a pretty damn good day. Dead guy down here. Here lies Squidward's hopes and dreams. You're next, or your name here. Non-Americans, what American food do you find questionable? Is this for another BuzzFeed article? I witnessed a Turkish friend's first corn dog. He grabbed it and started eating it, not understanding what a corn dog was. After the first bite, he was so surprised and bursted into excitement. Whoa, there's a hot dog in here. He loved every bite and went back for about 5 more. My mind is boggled by the amount of comments saying spray cheese. I've lived in the US my entire life, 40 years, and worked in a grocery store for many years. I've never had it, and I've rarely seen people buy it. I think it is a niche thing. Definitely not flying off the shelves. It's just so interesting seeing so many comments about it. Is that how we are advertised in other countries? People who like Andrew Tate. Why? 90 of these comments gonna be from people who don't like or aren't followers of Andrew Tate. Edit 99.99. Edit 99.99999999999999999999. This seems like a sort by controversial kinda situation. This question is addressed to people who like Andrew Tate, and the top 10 top comments are people who don't like Andrew Tate. Curious if anyone ever watched Big Brother when he was on it. Clashed with the most explosive person in that series and she took him on from the very first night. It was amazing that he was taken on. She was having none of his shit. He was removed after around a week because reports surfaced that he had done something illegal outside of the house. I wanna know this, so please people do not downvote them. Vote. What is an opinion of yours that goes against the consensus of Reddit's hive mind? I really enjoyed the Hobbit movies. Yes, I read the books. I know they aren't accurate. Id. They were enjoyable and helped me get my kids interested in LOTR. Get divorced is not always the solution. Not everything needs to be posted on the internet. It's not us versus them. Politics on Reddit is one big echo chamber, but politics would all disagree. Free speech is not violence. All rules around speech should err on the side of allowance, rather than disallowance, with few exceptions as highlighted in criminal law, and even then, gently so. I still find Jennifer Lawrence funny and relatable. More censorship, regulation, police state is not the answer to concerns of misinformation spreading, domestic extremism, etc. Employers are not the devil, nor are they oppressing you. Kanye needs help. You actually do have obligations to your family. Everybody hates me until they need me. What professions are examples of this? Lawyers. Lol. The U.S. Coast Guard for fishermen and boaters. Usually there's a pretty good working relationship between them, but some hate the Coast Guard for the various inspections they do. But the USCG is also the ones who will come out there in a storm to rescue them. IT, not the clown. Lawyer here. The expectation that because you are a lawyer you know everything about every law everywhere. In reality most lawyers are highly specialized. Accounting. The guy's actually trying to contact you about your car's extended warranty. Tow truck drivers, Germany. Plastic surgeons. My uncle is a plastic surgeon and he does only reconstructive stuff, fixing burn victims' faces and stuff like that. But when people ask him what kind of doctor he is and he says plastic surgeon, they usually scoff. Lawyers. If you got to remove one thing from the world, what would it be? Human traffickers. Cancer. Depression. Everyone deserves to be happy. Mental illness of any kind. Greed. Selfishness. I was going to say racism, but I think ridding the world of selfishness would also rid the world of racism. Same goes for many other things like human trafficking and many other crimes. So my final answer is selfishness. Dementia, pedophilia, mosquitoes, war, narcissists, ass hair, lack of empathy for animals and people. Emphatic people are less likely to commit crimes. With less crimes, and kinder people, the world will be at peace. Disease, racism and discrimination. I'm going with sexual assault. Consent for everyone. What are some things the USA does right? The National Weather Service. That's where all the rest of the USA weather channels get their information. The public libraries. They are amazing. We have many public libraries. National parks. NASA. North American conservation model is wildly successful. Long hiking trails and wilderness areas. The Americans with Disabilities Act. We don't have perfect inclusion of disabled people, but we're a lot better at it than lots of places. Yet to make it over, but from an outsider looking in, your national parks look awesome and well cared for. Also seems like you guys have a lot of outdoor space to use. Explore camp, in which we just don't have much of it all in the UK. Free public toilets. I never knew pay toilets existed until I left the US. Free water at restaurants. Postal service. Honest opinion. What do you think about girls who have OnlyFans? I once took a $13 bet to drink an expired gallon of blue cheese dressing, so I really don't think I'm fit to judge what other people do for money. You do you, but I want nothing to do with it. More power to you, but I'd never want to date someone who is one. I don't think you should blame someone for not wanting to be in a long-term relationship with you if you suggest that you want to do OnlyFans. No matter your gender. No judgment. If I could make a living selling pictures of my feet and butthole, I totally would. Unfortunately no one wants to see either one, let alone pay for the privilege, so I have to get a real job. It's certainly work, but it's burgers or stocking shelves. Will I actively shame someone who wants to do it? No. Do I want my daughter to have it as her main career and aspiration? Also no. I don't really think about girls who have OnlyFans. What instantly makes you dislike someone? When you can tell they don't care what you're saying, they're just waiting for their turn to talk. Once met a friend's new boyfriend. It was our first meeting. He constantly made jokes about his girlfriend's cats and how he was gonna cook them one day. Joke about how he was gonna shoot the neighbor's dog when he was barking, and while we were playing a board game where I had to collect money, he made jokes about how I was Chinese but living in Switzerland and therefore profiting off Swiss banks. I'm half Filipino, half Swiss. So that they advance on me with any sort of aggressive karate move. When they have horrible double standards. Being passive-aggressive. If you have a problem with me or what I'm doing, tell me up front. Don't hide behind a fake smile and snide comment. Hitting on another person while clearly in a relationship. From the first conversation, they compare and one-up everything you have to say. If you could go back in time for a day to witness a historic event, which would you choose? The Battle of Stamford Bridge in 1066. Would love to see and hear dinosaurs roaming around our land. The winged hussars charge. It was so impressive that a battle nearby stopped just to watch them charge. Diogenes telling Alexander the Great to step out of his sunlight. For a long time, the Mediterranean Sea was cut off from the Atlantic Ocean, and the rivers flowing into it were not enough to prevent it drying up completely. At some point in time, the ocean was able to cut an opening at Gibraltar and millions of cubic meters of water poured into the basin. That, I would like to have seen. A tour of Library of Alexandria before it was destroyed. The premiere of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in Vienna. Does seeing the dinosaurs count? See the asteroid comet that took out the dinosaurs from a safe distance. V-Day. What a party, what a party.